Let me make sure it's on. I just went
Are
live.
you going live early?
It's time. It's time to go live. It's 5:59. I'm just giving people time to get on. Let me check and make sure that we are live. Uh, so we did go live. Good evening, everyone. When you see this live, would you do me a favor and share it? Tonight, I'm going to be talking about the college life experience with two of my nieces. So when you get a chance, just jump in and share the broadcast with other people. We will be talking in just a moment. I'm giving them time to get situated and established. But hey, everybody, if you can see, we got the backgrounds of the colleges that we are have attended or are attending. And I want to talk a little bit tonight. Once people get on, I'm going to give you a few seconds to get on. I will play a little music. Please note that music is not copyrighted to me. I'm just sharing. Um, we're just sitting for a moment just until we can get a chance to go live, till we get established. Let's see. Trying to think of what I want to play. Y'all share on your pages so we can kind of get started. I just turned my volume down on my phone, but anyway, tonight we're just celebrating college and the experience. And most people struggle with going to college. So, did you like college so far? How do you feel about college? I'm just talking just until we give people time to get on. So, just say a little bit about what you like about college. Um, Either one of you. I'm just saying a few things. We can just say hi in the name, and then I'll recap once people join.
Hey. Well, honestly, my first experience with college was a little difficult, but once I got the hang of it, it became a little easier.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna play a little music and give some more people time to get on. I'll go ahead and play a little Kurt Franklin. All right. Good evening, everyone that's on. I'm sure some will watch later. Tonight, I wanted to do the college life experience around this time of year because this is the time when everyone gets ready to go back to college. This may be their first year or first time experience in college. And I thought that some people who had a first year experience on last year would be beneficial to help some others. And I have the privilege of having two nieces, Precious and Essence, on here tonight that both had the first year college experience, and I wanted to share with some other people so they would be aware of the college process. Um, I know I went to college with 1999. It's been a long time since I've been out of college, and processes are some of the experiences are yet the same as far as the transition from high school to college, and some of the things we go through may be a little bit different, but it's still an experience. And most people coming out of high school may not understand how the transition occurs. And I felt like some people that had just experienced it would be beneficial to helping some other people that may be going this upcoming year. Um, I have Essence Jackson's out of Louisiana and Precious Sip out of Senatobia, Mississippi. You know, that's my niece. Both of them are my nieces. Essence's mother has to be one of my closest friends, so I thought it would be befitting to have both of my nieces who have encountered their first year of college to talk. So we'll start off by them introducing themselves a little bit, and we'll go from there, and we'll take some questions if someone chooses to ask questions during the process. So I guess from the beginning, I'll start with Precious. Precious, uh, tell your about yourself and just start off by telling about yourself. Who are you? What high school? What? How did you choose to go to college? Which college you chose? I can't hear you if you're talking. Unmute yourself. Hello.
Hi everyone. My name is Chris. You hear me?
Go ahead. If you be
Y'all hear
still, yeah.
me?
Yes.
My name is Precious Hill. I was in high school. Hmm. I picked Alabama State in the night. I really had Alabama State in mind already before it was time to pick. I viewed Alabama State. I don't remember what year, but I was in a summer program called Educate. And my mentor took us to view Alabama State because she went there. And I just fell in love with it from then. And I'm still in love with it to this day.
Okay. E.
You saying it?
Hello, everyone. My name is Essence Jackson. I'm from Shreveport, Louisiana. I graduated from Captain Shreve High School, and I I attended the University of Louisiana in Monroe. I chose I chose ULM because I wanted I wanted to do my first year with a school that was kind of diverse per se, because they were all types of, you know, because yeah, it was a different types of ethnicities, and it was diverse. There were some Muslims, some black, white, Asian, and I just needed to be around different types of ethnicities and also religions so that I could learn about other people.
It makes perfect sense. I guess for me, I'll give my little background. I always wanted to go to HBCU. That was my philosophy. I wanted to go to, I don't know, I looked at the history of the school, and my grandmother was being a civil rights activist. I thought it would be befitting to go to HBCU. So that's why I chose Russ College. Actually, my parents were against me going to Russ because they were like, it's closed. I don't think that's a good school for you. I think you should go somewhere else. But I insisted on going to Russ. And when they went to view the college and tour the campus and the first year week experience, they felt comfortable with me going there. They were concerned about what my education and what I could do differently. So that's kind of why I chose Rest College, just to kind of give you a breakdown and a little bit about me. I majored in biology with the intent to go to medical school, but somehow along there I changed my mind and I started going into other things, and that's kind of how I ended up where I am now. We'll talk a little bit more about that later, but so in deciding your majors, I mean, from the freshman year up until now, do you think you're going to keep the same major that you had when you started? That's a question I want to have on the floor. Either one of you. Do you still have the same major from your freshman year?
So
I do,
right now I do.
but I want to change my major, but I think I'm going to stick with it.
Okay. That's just feasible. You know, college experience does make you want to reevaluate if you made the right choice. Now, I know that a lot of times in high school, most of us don't get a chance to do an internship in our field of study because of being minority. Sometimes we don't have those opportunities like other people to go to actually view the job heads on. And so sometimes when you get in college, you realize that that might not be what you want to do. You're like, this ain't what I thought it was, because it may look like something else on the outside. In reality, it may not be the same thing. So that's something that we learn even during the process as well as going to college. So the next thing I want to touch on is moving in the dorm, the experience of moving in the dorm. So how was the moving in the dorm experience? You know, they give you a list of things on the line of what you're supposed to have when you move in the dorm. You get that list. So when you get that list, what is the list versus what you need when you go to the dorm? So tell people about that. I'll start with you, Essence.
Okay, so me, I made sure I had everything on the list, but I also make sure I had like my personal stuff, such as my cream for my eczema. Probably for some people they might need an inhaler. It all really depends. And for my dorm, we didn't have a kitchen. Like we had a main area, but we didn't have a kitchen. And so I was using an air fryer. I was using a microwave. I know some people that have the electric skillets. So, and if you are a big cooker, you don't really prefer to, go out to like the cafeteria, but you want to stay in your room, I would highly suggest you get all of those things because they will come in handy all the time.
So let me kick back on that before Precious talks. What if your dorm tell you you can't have those items? So what do you do then? We bring those
You
items.
So
don't get
you maneuver around and
items.
find out what you can get.
Because most of the time, I'm gonna just be honest, a lot of them they don't want you to bring those watts. They want you to bring a small refrigerator. They want you to bring this little stuff, and you don't really supposed to bring that. But most of the time, you get pretty decent with your RA. You tend to be able to get a few more things that most people
See,
don't supposed to have, and you work with your system to network. I'm not telling you to
yeah,
go get it, but I'm telling you to survive. Sometimes you need things that are not just in the dorm. That's practical. That's real life.
see,
You didn't get to bring
yes,
those things into
yes.
the
I
dorm.
was blessed to have my roommate as the RA of my floor. So I was able to get away with some stuff. I just made sure I had it hidden under my bed when I got done with it and made sure not to set off the smoke alarm.
I mean, it makes sense. I mean, this is practical stuff that people use when they're in college because they come
Yes.
back and be honest, most people don't like going to the cafeteria. I mean, I know we're still talking about the first day and moving in the dorm, how stressful it is moving all that stuff and unpacking and setting your room up. That's intense,
That
all that
took
stuff and
forever.
putting stuff together. I mean, it's a nightmare when
That
you
took
first move in the dorm.
forever.
Yes, all day activity. So, Precious, you tell about your movie and dorm experience.
First off, I want to say I didn't read the supply list that was sent to me. I should have because I overpacked my things. Less is more. And My move-in day, it was very, very, very chaotic. It was so much going on, but it was okay. I had people doing everything. Hmm. And when it comes to the things that you're not supposed to have, like air fryers and stuff like that, you just don't bring them out until you establish your roommate and see what kind of relationship you're going to have. Because some roommates are kind of petty; they will tell on you for certain things. So you got to watch out for stuff like
And I want to inject because Precious is my niece and I helped move her in. Tell about, let's just be honest. Tell when you walked in the room and when you saw the setup, what was your first impression when you walked in the room? Just tell the truth.
that. I panicked. I I had a panic attack because I didn't like how my room was set up. My roommate moved in before me because she was in the band and her bed was the same way and I didn't want it. I feel like she took up half the room.
She wanted to move out. But I'm just, this is practical stuff that you go through when you get in college. She wanted to move out and she had no patience. And there was another dilemma that she had with the roommate. So she didn't want to stay there. And it was so much stuff. We had my trunk packed and we had a van full of stuff. And she had so much stuff and nowhere to put it. So it was a nightmare. Let's just be honest. It was a nightmare trying to pack a house in the one room, in one side of one room. And so that's just kind of telling. And I know that ain't just Precious story. I know my niece Essence, she had the same thing, but you got blessed with no roommate. So you had a room to yourself where you could put all your million things that you had, but you had a lot of stuff too because that when I called Essence, she still wasn't done unpacking. It took them all day, just like it took
all day.
me all day with my niece. I was aching, putting together desks and all that kind of stuff because she wanted her stuff a certain way. But that's part of the college experience. Once you got there, let's start talking about okay, so Essence, you didn't have a roommate. So Precious, talk about the roommate experience for being in school. The after you got there and you didn't know your roommate, you got a band person, she done took up part of your room. How was the room experience when you got in there and had to adjust? You never had a roommate before. This is your first time going to college away from home. How was the experience?
It was very eye opening. I judged the book by its cover very wrongly. Like she was so sweet to me. I had the wrong idea of her from the start. I didn't give her a chance, but once I did, she was a very cool roommate. She let me get away with a lot of stuff. First was college. I slept with our big door open because I was scared.
You slept with the door open?
Yes, I slept with our big door open because um,
I, I can't hear you. Every time you move, I can't hear you. So what are you saying?
yes, I slept with the big door open.
Was you breaking up?
I slept
Okay,
with
now
the
I can hear
big
you.
door open.
You left the whole door in the suite open?
Yes, I locked out the suite door and I left our door open just in case I had to get out of there.
What? So what? How did your roommate respond when you were talking about leaving the door open like that? What did she say? All y'all good stuff in there, and you got the door open.
She didn't say anything. She was barely
So
there.
how long did you keep that door open during the week? I mean, like how many weeks did you keep that door open?
It was 1.5, almost 2 weeks.
So
But listen though, me and my roommate didn't have like a complete conversation till like a week after school started because she was so busy. She had so much going on. But when I got to know her, I felt a little comfortable closing the door.
What? So you had issues closing the door, basically. So, um, so with that being said, so you had a roommate. She didn't have a room. So, Essence, what did you dislike about not having a roommate? You know, having going to the school and just being in the room by yourself. How was that mentally for you? Like not having a roommate and nobody to talk to or even experience college with. How was that?
I felt a little alone, not being able to have like a physical person to talk to because my like I had a roommate, but our rooms were separated. Like we both had our individual doors, and so we would always close and lock our doors
So you were
when
just
we're
in a
there and
room.
when we're gone. Our doors would be locked, and we hardly ever talked to each other. Maybe in the morning we'll say like good morning, but that's about it. And
So
then and so I met some other friends from out of state, and so I would just communicate with them every day. And that's kind of how I kind of feel that loneliness spot in my mind. I'm guessing
yeah.
that's basically how I overcame my loneliness was from those friends out of state.
Right. Makes sense. Makes a
Yeah.
lot of sense. And you know, like when you're in high school and you're in a house where there's discipline, you can't do this, you got to ask to do this, they may say yes or no. So everybody's like, oh, I'm finna go to college and ain't nobody going to be able to tell me. I'm going to enjoy my little freedom. I'm going to college and I'm finna have a good time. But when you go off to college, even after you leave the nest, transitioning from the nest is pretty challenging. And it even though you want to act like you hard, you tired of your mama fussing at you, but when you get to college in that dorm room, you miss home because you can't just you, for one, neither one of you all had a car. So how was the emotional impact of being away from your family and you don't want to tell them because you're trying to act like you're grown and you want to feel like, well, I'm independent, I can do it on my own. But I'm gonna tell you, my first week of college, I was 45 minutes away. Left my car at home because they said I couldn't have a car the first semester, well, the first year. But I made it through the first semester without a car. But I cried, even though I couldn't stand it. I cried because I missed my parents. Even though I was making friends and I was getting along, it was still emotionally affecting me because I had to separate from people that I was accustomed to being around. And they were used to get up, it's time to go to class, or get up, it's time for school, or did you do your homework, or you had those people helping you with that. How was that in the first semester of college, or just coping with the process of being out there? You got your freedom. You can do whatever you want to do. Get up when you want. They may call you and check, and you can say, "Yeah, I'm up," but you ain't really up because I know I done been up, been almost up, but I ain't been to class. Let's just be real. Come on, now we gonna say yes, ma'am, and we know we ain't going to class that day because we already made up our mind. Because I know when Precious telling me, I said, "Hey, you on your way?" Yeah, I'm up. I'm thinking she is in that bed and she's not going to the class today. But I'm just saying, in general, even when I call you, you doing your homework? Yeah, I'm doing my homework. But I was like, she on her way out the door. Let's just be real. We don't sit up and call. How was the emotional? How was the emotional process for that? How was it? Just to really not tell your parents, but you do miss them. That you're homesick. How did you deal with the homesick behavior? How? Either one of you all.
I didn't call my mama. She had to call me because if I called her, I was gonna want to come home. I'll tell you straight up. If I would have called, I didn't tell her this. Don't tell her. She probably watching this, but
She gonna
she
say,
probably watching this. But I, even though I was, ready to go, I was also ready to come back because I'm the only child, and I've been under my mom's wing for so long. So when I was able to leave, I kind of wanted to come back because I didn't really know what I was doing, and I thought that I was mentally prepared for it, but I really was not. She took it. I think she took it better than me, even though she cried. I think she still took it better than me, even though she called me every day.
But you acted. I know you were like, I'm good.
Oh,
You know how
I
y'all
acted real
be like,
hard.
I'm
I
good.
acted real hard. You wouldn't
It
be
was
able to
hard.
tell that I really miss my mama. I really did.
I'm sure it was hard, and and that affects even your grades and stuff because you can't really get off that emotion of I'm doing I miss my family, but how do I go? And then you're getting with people and they're not like family. They're gonna be nice a little bit, but they go their ways, and then you back in your room with just yourself again. So, Precious, how was that for you,
It didn't really
Precious?
hit me till I was like, hmm, I would say I don't know how far along I was in school, but I needed to go to the beauty supply store and I didn't have a way. I didn't have any edge control and I just broke down crying. I don't even know why. It was just like I don't have no car and I don't want to pay nobody $25 in the beauty supply store right down the street. I was like, I miss home. I don't have a car. It was very overwhelming because I mean I'm very spoiled. I always have people to do stuff for me, and I gained a little so much independence. Well, I don't have it now since I'm at home, but I did gain so much independence while I was at home. I broke down crying a lot of times, but mentally, college is like it's very overwhelming because people, like you said, people are very different. You have people from every state all in one school, and you have to watch people differently than you would at home. At home in high school, we grew up together. We basically knew each other, and everybody just didn't grow up the same way. And learning to deal with people that didn't grow up with you is very crazy to me. People have their own ways that you have to get used to.
Yeah, I agree. I
You
agree.
see
I totally
grandma
agree.
comment,
Yeah, I just saw.
Precious,
You know
you
she gonna be tough on you.
I'm not even talking about that time, grandma.
You know when you
She's
get
trying
them
to tell y'all
online, they
my
gonna tell
story
on you.
before I tell y'all my story.
Well, go ahead
I'm
since
gonna
she
tell
hit
it to
on it.
y'all.
Go ahead and hit it since we already there.
So one day we had a fire. Well, it really wasn't a fire drill. We had a fire happen in our dorm room, and it was pouring down rain outside already. But we had to get out of our dorms, and we couldn't be like close to our dorm at all. And I had nothing on, no clothes or nothing. So it's pouring down rain. All my friends are in class at this point. Well, my friends with cars. So I didn't have anywhere to go. And I had on pajamas. I don't even think I had on underwear. So I I just called Auntie and I was just boohoo crying. I don't even know why I was crying. I was just crying boohoo. I was just so stressed with school because in high school I really didn't have to study. I just winged it because I was listening. And then I got to college, I had to read books and I had to. It was just so much I wasn't used to. And I'm not really a calendar person, but you need a calendar when you get to college so you can know what's going on.
Yeah, that's so true. And now I was gonna get into that part of the aspect. You kind of touched on it, Precious, already, as far as the transition from education wise to like studying for college. I know I knew my first semester. I always tell my nieces and my nephews the first semester is your groundbreaking for college. Whatever you do, it's going to be hard to bring up your grades once you start college, and your first semester is kind of rough. So you always want to make your first semester uh, solid. Take your easier classes study hard, make make the good grades so that you can do it. So transitioning from high school where you go in there and pretty much your senior year, everybody gets lax their senior year because you're in the home stretch. You took all your hard class, all your state tested classes, so you just kind of cruising through your senior year. And here it is that you're getting ready to go to college, well, you're gonna only have a semester of classes. They're gonna give you maybe three. You may get lucky with a semester of a college professor that has a fourth test, but it's just like three tests that you take, and they're gonna make or break you. All the assignments gonna count little. That test grade gonna be so high. So tell about the first semester, like the college part of how it was like taking those classes and going to class and the discipline of like getting up and being accountable for your own grades. How was that?
Well, my first year of college, I did miss a lot of classes, honestly, because I was emotionally drained. I didn't know how to deal with being away from home because I'm like 5 hours away from home. I really don't know anybody, so I don't trust nobody. And then on top of all the schoolwork, I laid in the bed a lot. Um, my teachers, when I first got to college, I was going to class faithfully every day. So my teachers knew me. They knew I would do my work. But I just got so down, like at the end of the semester. So some of my teachers did help me, you know.
So overall, would you say that it's harder the first semester of like transitioning from a high school mindset of doing grades? What would you say for somebody that's transitioning from high school to college, like how to study? How would you recommend somebody studying? You told about your experience, but how do you recommend somebody study? Okay, Essence, you can say y'all both can chime in on that. Like she talked about how the transition and hard was. I remember telling them, I said, your teachers are your foundation. You want to build a relationship with them. So if you have a hard time, they're a little gracious if you build a relationship. Show up at those office hours. Talk to them. Let them know what's going on. Be a little personal with them, and they'll be willing to help you versus just sitting in class and not saying nothing. Like a parent, old phrase say, "Closed mouth don't get fed." But you really have to build relationships with your teachers, good or bad, and you learn how to do it. I remember a college professor, and then I'm giving you time to get your thoughts together. I remember a college professor. He was the only teacher that taught pre-calculus. His name was Dr. Tamala Pollard. I never forget him. And I was in the class, and I really didn't apply myself because I'm pretty much like I could study and not really study much and still do well. And I was good at math, so I really didn't study as much in that class because I'm like, it's pre-cal, it's a major, it's for my major, but and in your major you can't have a D, you have to have a C or higher. And so I had took him, and I was like 1 point from a C, and I walked to him and I was like, will you give me a C? And I was like, what can I do? I just need 1 point. It's like point something. Can you get? He's like, I'll see you next semester. And I'm like, see me next semester for this little point? He's like, I'll see you next semester. And so I had to retake it. And when I retook it, I made an A. He said, I knew you could do it. That's why I was gonna give you that. He's like in life, ain't nobody gonna give you nothing. You gonna have to work hard to achieve your goals. So this is what I'm saying now. I'm just saying that to kind of give you an idea. You can talk about experience, essence with classes, the transition phase of class.
Oh yes. Okay. So the office hours with your professors, they come in here, especially when you are struggling. Do not be afraid to ask questions. Do not be afraid to go to your teacher, either whether you're in class or one on one, because it helped me get through. Because my first semester, I didn't go to any like support groups. I was just I basically depended on myself. I ain't even look to God. I'm being completely honest. I didn't even look to God. I was like, okay, I can do it. I don't need nobody to help me. I think I can do it. If I just do this, then I'll be able to do that. But but when I started using those hours and going to support groups and going to the writing center to help with all my papers, it helped me to develop more skills that I didn't know that I had or that even existed. And so I under it helped me to understand what I was being taught because I had to retake some classes also as well. And so after taking those classes, I learned the same exact thing, but I was really not applying it and understanding. I was just kind of going through the motion. But yeah, using those office hours get you a effective study group. Get with the Caucasians and the Indians. Get with them. Yeah.
Yeah, it's true, and you got to find some people that are connected. And for me, when I went to college, I prayed before I went to college. I said, Lord, connect me with the right people. Give me some people that would help me cultivate me and have the same mindset as me. So when I got to college, the first couple of people I met were like scholars. You know what I'm saying? And we would study together, and we had our playtime. You know, come on, we go to college. We're not just going to be in class and doing that. You're gonna have a social life, and you're gonna have fun. We'll get into that in a minute. But I actually found us some people that I could study with. I found people that were in the classes with me, not the people. And I always sat in the front because I believe it's important to act like you're interested in learning. So I got with some people that I knew that were interested and cared about their education, and we studied. Like we either went to the library, went to each other's rooms, and my study technique is visual. I'm a visual learner, so I come up with acronyms, acrostics, or whatever to help me learn words because that'll help me. Like I'll take a picture and I'll name everything on that side with a song or something, whatever it takes to get it. And I would do that, and I would call all the questions out to my friend, and she would answer the question. But I would learn that way versus, doing it. Sometimes I would go in the choir room, but get with some people that actually study, and y'all figure out how to study together. You take this part and learn this, and you teach me this, and I'll teach you this, and you teach each other. And I dry erase more calendars, whatever it takes to get the information because the goal is they give you a lot of information with a short time frame and you got to really retain the information to be effective. Anything you want to say, Precious, on that?
Yeah.
And the college
I only
life.
went
Go
to
ahead.
office hours like 3 times myself personally. Yes. I only went to office hours like 3 times, and actually there really weren't office hours. My teacher fit me in. At HBCU, they're amazing. As long as you establish like a relationship with your teachers and let them know what's going on with you. And I only went to my teacher's office hours when my TT couldn't read my papers because she was busy. Real close with God when I was by myself. Like one night, um, I don't remember what it was like. Something I was doing for school, and I didn't know how to do it because I really wasn't listening in the class. And I was like, God, I cannot go back to center. I don't know what you trying to tell me, show me. And I was like, I was crying too. I was like, oh my God. And my roommate was there. She came in the door. She was like, you okay? And we got to talking. And she was like, college is very hard. I know it's hard, especially your first year, telling me I can do it and stuff like that. But yeah.
Okay. Now the part that everybody else likes to talk about, the college life, the college experience. Um, I went to PWI, which is a public institution that is diverse. Like Essence went her first year. I went there probably with getting a second bachelor's. So I do know the diversity is totally different than going to an HBCU. The culture, but the hangout is pretty much the same. You're in college, you come to hang out and do things on campus. When you go out, let's just be civil. Everybody ain't going to church like that. We say we do or whatever. All at college. Now I did go a lot, and sometimes I've been to things on campus as well. So all of us have been to things that probably weren't churchy. Let's just be real. And what are some tips, to help some people that may not, they need to know some things before going to, like, if they went to a party. I'm not going to say if you all went to a party. I'm not trying to put you out there like that. But if you went to a party or anything like that, like, what are some tips that you can give some people that are going to those things to watch out for so they can be safe, or, incidents that you've seen other people or heard people talking on campus that'll help somebody else be aware. I know my grandmother told me in high school before I went to college, don't drink nothing. If you leave a cup out, don't touch it because you don't know what people could put date rape drugs or any type of thing like that. And some people are naive. They've never been nowhere. For college is the first off experience that someone may be having, and they may not be used to activities because they may have came up in a different environment, but there are things that they'll be exposed to and they may experience because they're on the campus and they've never been to college. They don't know. And so somebody say, hey, come go somewhere with me, and you're riding with somebody, you don't have a car, and they end up at the club. What you gonna do? I mean, you can call an Uber now. Yeah, we got that. But everybody didn't have that. When I was in school, you roll with the person. That's how you gonna get home. Unless you're gonna call your parent. I know most of them are not gonna say, hey, mom, I went the wrong place. Come get me right now. You're gonna find, so knowing what to do in environments that are not very that are different for us. I like to be practical because everybody, I can teach somebody everything, but some people still going to experience things that are not very church. Let's just, it's honest. It's about life. So, what are some tips that you would give somebody that's new, that's going to college, maybe not exposed to the life outside of their normal environment? What are some safety things that you would tell somebody for college?
I would recommend that first use the buddy system. Make sure you have somebody that that don't really do a lot of drinking or a lot of smoking. So you always have that, dependable person. Like if you mess up, you always have somebody that can get you home safely. Two, make sure that your location is on your phone. So if anything happens, somebody can track you down to find where you are to come get you. Also, make sure you tell somebody where you're going that's not going. So if anything happens and they can't track your phone, they'll know where to go. And make sure you have you a designated driver, somebody that is dependable, that won't do anything, so the whole group get back to the campus safely. Also, with drinks, if you bring your drink that has a top on it and keep it wherever you go, because people crazy. They like to put all those drugs and everything in different, yeah.
Precious, you have any tips?
She touched on just about everything, Make sure you're safe. At least tell somebody you at if you're not safe. Um, I don't know if I should say that on here.
Yeah, you
Should I say
probably
that?
should. Just don't leave no names out. I think you should share it to help somebody else.
I'm not
But
about
just
to
be
say no
very careful.
names on there.
Okay.
Always have protection. You don't want no babies.
Oh, you talking
Yeah,
about that.
that's pretty much
But if you're going
it.
to, I'm not telling you to do it because it's a sin. But if you do
Yeah,
experience things, protect yourself. That's what I'm saying to you on the campus. That's just a precautionary measure. I'm not encouraging you, but I'm telling you, protect yourself. It's all kind of stuff out there, and it's not safe, and it's always safe.
and if you do, your college does have a little pharmacy. Go get checked out.
And also, just to wrap up on that, let's just make sure that you enjoy the college experience. And if you need help, reach out to people that need help. And it's not embarrassing if you don't know everything when you get to college. You're not gonna know everything. Most people, some people now, families have a lot of people that have been to college, but if some people are a first time college student, they don't know all the ropes about the FAFSA, filling that out effectively, and making sure their financial aid is paid. They may get to college and not even know that they have a balance and they don't know what to do on the balance, or just little tips like that, and making sure you bring your shower shoes. That's one thing they forgot to tell you. You do not want to take a shower in the shower without shower shoes. Always have several pair of shower shoes, because that's just kind of gross to kind of go in there. And yeah, you always want to have shower shoes. That's one key concept you also want to remember when you go to college. And build some I know a lot of people are used to being by themselves. You got to build some effective relationships. Don't be afraid to build some new relationships with people. And just because you're friends don't mean you got to go everywhere with them, or they got to dominate all your time. Just make a balance. Spend your time, and then spend time and focus on what you came to school for. And that's with the mindset. The shift is, what's your purpose? Why am I here? You're gonna have a good time, but why am I here? I'm here to get an education. So you wanna stay focused on your purpose for being in college. And when you focus on your purpose, then you have a lot of playtime. I hung out. Sometimes we was hungry at 3 or 4 in the morning. We would leave and go to Memphis or do whatever, or go to other colleges to have a good time, just to fellowship with other schools. We would go places, but at the same time, like she said, keep your location on. Let somebody know your location. Somebody in your family should always know your locations. Ain't that right, Essence and Precious? Yeah, I got a philosophy. My
Yes.
nieces, if I don't have that location, my nieces on my Netflix.
Don't tell them my business. Don't tell them my
I turn
business.
off stuff.
But it's not even
But
just
I'm just saying that
somebody in
it's
your
like,
family should have your location.
but I'm
It's
just saying,
somebody
somebody
that's
I'm just
around
being
you,
silly,
just in
comical.
case.
Not your friends. I mean, you can get your friends at school, but your family, somebody I know you feel like, well, I don't want them to know I'm out and all that stuff. But somebody needs to know where you are at every moment, because anything could happen. You know what I'm saying? And they need to have access to you. What if something happens at home and they're trying to get in contact with you or tell you some bad news or just anything? So always keep your location on. It's not about being grown. I'm 40, 40 plus, about to be 41. I have my location on. I don't have a problem with having my location on, because things are happening. And anything could happen. I could be somewhere driving alone and something could happen. And at least they know my location. I keep that stuff on. So it's important to do that. And I'm going to give them time to give some last remarks or some additional tips they would. And then I'll leave you with some tips, and we'll be done for tonight. Any other tips that you want to give them about the college experience? Or you can think while I'm giving mine. How about that? My first tip is, you'll need God throughout to help you through the college process. You just won't make it without His help. I'm just honestly telling you, just it's a priority. Um, Keep Him forefront in your life, and you'll make it through the process. I'm not saying it's gonna be easy, but you definitely will make it if you keep Him in your life. My second thing is, if you happen to fail a class any semester, I always tell anybody, take it again the next semester, because if you don't, it's going to affect your GPA, and it may put you on academic probation if you do not take that class repeated like right after you fail it. And it's not, I'm not saying you go to college you expect to fail, but sometimes it's hard. I've had to retake a class, and I have 2 degrees, so things happen. So we may have something happen in our family or anything. Anything could happen. We could have to withdraw. And so, but always remember, if you take it, your advisor may not tell you this, because they're concerned about the school. They ain't looking at what you need to do. Some advisors may, but this is something, a tip for yourself. Always take the class. Oh, if you get a C or a D in your one of your major classes where it's not going to let you graduate, you get a D in a class in your major, you're not going to graduate. So you have to take that class over. So a C or better. So if you fail or make a D in the class and it's in your major or some of those core curriculums, make sure you take it again the next semester. And don't be away and stressed alone. If you need help, ask for it. Don't be afraid. Your parents are there and set in your life to be there to assist you. They may not understand, but most parents know when their child is going through something, but they want the child, the individual, to say something. If you're having a rough day, or you're emotionally drained, or you're having a breakdown a moment, and you need to see them, just let them know. Don't let them have to feel it and show up. Just say, listen, I'm homesick. Can you come down here this weekend? It's nothing for your parents to come see you. If you're 10 hours away, 20 hours away, they'll make it happen if you need to see your parents. So get out of that. I'm grown. I don't need no help. I got to handle it on my own. You don't have to do that when you're in college. If your parents sent you there, they know you probably have some needs. You're gonna ask for that money when you need to go somewhere and to eat out at the restaurants when you want to go. You ask for that money. So if you're not afraid to ask for the money, ask for something when you're stressed because college transition is stressful. You know, being an adult in that capacity is very stressful. So sometimes you're gonna need to ask. Reach out to if you're not don't want to reach out to mama. Find you a notable adult that you can talk to and say, listen, I need a little help. They may have to pray. They may have to show up. But ask them, no, all she gotta do is make a call. I'm coming to wherever she at. I don't have a problem getting on the road and showing up. I can tell when I need to show up, and I don't mind doing it. And because who knows what I'll need in my future. You get what I'm saying? So it's not a problem to reach out. And like she said earlier, get you some friends that will study with you as well as hang out. It's good to hang out and have fun. Yeah, we having a good time. It's live. I know when I went, West College was live, but when I went to Alabama State to help move my niece in, them folks was live at move-in day. I was like, oh my God, they finna be live all the time. But yeah,
What's
being live
we?
is good, but study too. You're in college to get an education, so keep that on the forefront. Another thing, be very, very organized. You have to stay organized. You're not gonna remember. Get that syllabus, like I tell my nieces all the time. Get that syllabus, put that stuff on your calendar, put it in your phone, know your test date, and apply yourself on a regular basis. If you study Psalm every day for every class, on test the night before test, you don't have to stay up all night and study, unless it's some areas that are critical in you. But if you keep that calendar organized, all your calendars in sync, keep that calendar organized and stay on top of it. If you got three assignments due by Friday, put in a note, send yourself a notice, stay on top of that. And six, it's okay to change your major. If you get in there and you realize this this ain't what I thought it was, it's harder. I know I can do it, but this ain't really where I want to target my life because what you major in most of the time is supposed to be what you do for the rest of your life. And I found out, even though I do have work in the science field, I didn't really want to be no doctor. I like administration, and I'm pretty good at administration, but it took me a roundabout way to get into it. And I love what I do. I work in quality. I absolutely love it. But had I done a little more research on my major and start reaching out to different things, I probably would have found out. But I'm glad I have that background in science, so I understand it. But it's okay if you decide, well, I thought I wanted to go to medical school, but that's not working out, and it's not that I'm afraid of it, but I just feel something in a different because your major is gonna align with your purpose. So whatever your purpose is, your major should align with that, and because it's gonna help it both ways. And last but not least, my thing, enjoy college. College is fun. I enjoy playing and when it snowed at the campus and we playing and doing snowfalls and just having fun and I happen to be Greek, so I pledged while I was in college, so it enhanced the fun on the campus. I mean, going around in my groups and doing what I got to do and just entertaining and doing community service or whatever activity that we had on campus, I enjoyed it because that it enhanced my college experience. So on that note, college is fun, but it's a lot of work, and you gotta, pay attention to the process and watch your surroundings. Things are different, now than it's a little bit more intense. So watch your surroundings. You go to most of the HBCUs, and I know both of you all you're transitioning into HBCU freshmen. That the campuses are most of the time in the hood. Let's just be real. Watch your surroundings all the time. Everybody may not go to HBCU, but in those colleges, people prey on college students because they know they're new, they're happy to be out of the house of their parents, so they prey on young adults. So just be cautious in your environment. So that's all I have to say. Anybody else have something to say?
I have two more
Go
pieces of
ahead. Go
advice.
ahead.
Um, First one is make sure you create a schedule for the day and for the week so that you can be able to set aside time for the classes and then when you're going to study, then like when you're going to party. Well, three things actually. And then the second thing is after class, rewrite your notes because I know you're writing it down while you're in class, but when you get back to your dorm or if you go to the library or wherever you study at, it will help you to rewrite your notes because you can actually have time to get into your head. And most people say that when you write it more than one time, it'll help you remember it. Yeah.
I agree.
I
Precious?
forgot what my third one was.
Oh, think about it while Precious talking because I want to make sure you put it out there. Precious?
Um, I think everyone should, first of all, hmm, be safe, have fun. You can go to you communicate with your friends and family, but understand what you're there for. Also, if you do party, do not drink any drinks that are made by any sorority at the party. Drink your own liquor.
It makes sense. If you are, you protect yourself. Every area of your life, wherever you go, and try to stay away from house parties. I forgot to say that. If you go, I'm not telling you to go to parties, but if you're going, please don't go to nobody's house. You don't know these people. I don't care where you at. Do not go to anybody's house.
Right.
If it's not like an establishment and you're out somewhere and you don't have enough, you need to be able to have a getaway and you need to watch all the doors. Don't go to nobody's house. You don't know these people from Blue Moon. Stick to the campus stuff that you've seen with security and stuff that's related to the campus. Do not go to people's houses. Do not, I'm repeating that, don't go to people's houses. If this is not your family or somebody your family has connected you to, sometimes that can be scary. Don't go to people's houses. College is not the place. They're looking for prey. A lot of people are doing that. And even the fraternities are looking for targets for the freshmen, and they look out for opportunities. And if you're gullible, you'll fall into the prey. I'm just saying, don't be trying nobody houses and stuff. Stick to what you came for and have some fun and be safe. That's all I'm telling you. Be safe, pay attention, watch your environments, watch your surroundings, and just enjoy the college experience. Like I said, the games, the bands, it's so much to do on the campus. Try to stick as much as possible if you don't have a vehicle. If you have a vehicle, be limited. Don't put all these strange people in your cars. You don't know what they got in their pocket, and you don't want to go to jail for stuff that you didn't do. So just be careful with who you hang with. Watch every detail. Don't the one detail you miss can cause you to be in a big trouble. So pay attention to all the details when they're around you. And like I said, it's a fun experience. It's supposed to be fun because it's kind of the transition phase to adulthood. When you get out of college, you're supposed to start your career and all of that kind of thing. And so it's going to build some networks, some long lasting friendships. I have friends since '99 that I met in college. I have some amazing friends that I've met through college, and we're still tight to this day. We build relationships. We study together, and we had our weak moments and up moments and stuff. College is about that, and even when you find a fairly decent friendship, you may have some differences, but if they're solid, work on building it. So it colleges can be all you make it. It's all about how you make it and what you do. And if you come out of there, let's achieve the goals. Let's graduate. I know college is not for everybody, but those that who aspire to go to college, make all the details and then just enjoy it. Enjoy it. I have thoroughly enjoyed my nieces tonight, Essence Jackson and Precious P. You all give them a hand for doing such a wonderful job talking about the college experience and the things that they know in any line. And I'm sure if you reach out to them, if you're a college student and really need some help or need to know something, I'm sure they're available. They'll try to help you with the transition from high school to college. But I just wanted to interact with some people that had just came through the first year college experience to kind of give you some tips and tools for how to enjoy and how to experience the college life. So I appreciate you all for coming in with me tonight. I owe y'all a dinner or something. I know my niece here, Precious, requested me to cook, but I'm not gonna cook tonight. I'm sorry, but at the same time, we'll eat, but I won't be cooking tonight. I owe you. But I got you too. So y'all have a good night. I love you all, and y'all thank you for joining us, everyone.
Good night, everyone.